Cheers, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of Beauty Sports in 2023. We cannot wait to tell you what's been going on. Welcome to this week's episode of Beers with Beauties.
Doesn't matter if you got Coors, Busch, Bud Light, or a local shop's IPA. All beers are welcome at Beers and Beauties, baby. Let's go.
Man, oh man, were you popping champagne or what? Talk me through it. Hope everybody had an amazing break. Yeah. Excited to be back here.
Yeah. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year, my friend. Yeah. New Year's Eve for me was was a time. Actually, we've supported and talked about Good Neighbor Brewing on the podcast before. We spent the evening there. They had a New Year's Eve dinner. So we drank craft beer and ate lovely food and hung out with lovely human beings and rolled through the door at 10 to 4 a.m. So
10 to 4, strolling home. That is amazing. So did they walk us through the event? So they had obviously all their sweet ass beers kicking around. Did they pair it with food? Did you just order what you wanted?
Yeah, so you could have there was some beer pairings.
Nice.
But we just drank what we wanted to drink.
Drank what you wanted to drink, eat what you wanted to eat.
It was great. It was very, very well done. They had a keg drop at midnight instead of the ball drop, which was cool.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, and
what a great idea.
I rocked the New Year's Eve tiara, which is super me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's right.
And we had the horns, and it was great. We went like the all C kind of menu. It was you got to pick. And obviously I have some dietary restrictions and things that I can't eat. And so Ash was on board, had to eat because everything was paired together as a twosome. So we ate from the ocean. We had scallop crudo, which was delicious. We had lobster ravioli.
Come on.
Our main was Arctic char, and we finished off with a pistachio and blackberry or blueberry or something, creme brulee, which was...
Shit. Is this a white tie event too? Jesus, Murphy, that's insane.
I don't know a white tie.
You don't have a white tie?
Or shiny shoes, but
yeah, that sounds amazing. Your New Year's? My New Year's was pretty standard when you have a 4-year-old.
Oh yeah, you did the countdown at 8:50.
Yep. Fired it up.
Yep.
In bed by 8, the little guy, and then we kind of just watched some hockey and hung out at home and had a good time. We got this hutch wine thing. So now it's all about trying to make the fanciest drinks. So Tara did a good job. She made some fancy drinks that I would never have the patience to make. A little bit of this over here, a little spritz of something over there. I don't know. It tasted fantastic though.
That is so good.
We did our own little thing, which was perfect.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it was, holidays is always such a special time. It was nice to be with family and friends, and nice to get to enjoy, kind of turn off some things and just relax.
Yeah.
And New Year's, I always say, "Oh no, I'm not going to have a hangover," and then I do. And but it's good to be back. It's good to be back behind a microphone. We obviously we were pre-recorded so that we could celebrate with our family over the holidays. But it is good to ring in the Beauties New Year again with you.
Yeah, I love it. Like, and one of the things too about this break that was so awesome was, and we talk about this a lot, about all the awesome suggestions we get and the conversation topics. And I just love that this community is growing and that people love to come up and talk to us about it too. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, because that to me shows that the conversations that we're talking about are interesting, maybe something that people maybe didn't know before and are starting to learn more about. Totally. Like, that was, for me, this break was fantastic. Very, very cool.
Good.
And we've had a couple of things released in the last little bit.
Yeah. Yeah,
some fun stuff.
Yeah, so stick around for some more announcements as we approach, as we continue on in the new year here. Addie and I are looking at doing some new and exciting things with merch, coming out with some fresh looks that we think that everybody will enjoy. So we're excited about that. And then one of the things that we put out in the world was the little, I don't want to call it a new logo because the old logo is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But a new symbol. So we talked a lot about recognition of brands and how do we have something that is smaller than that full written out Beauties. And we threw around a lot of ideas to each other, obviously, by the nature of the name, Beauties Sports. And if you initial that, it ends up with the initials of BS. And so when we were making a symbol, we were very cognizant of the fact that we didn't want it to just straight up read as BS because we know where everyone's head goes.
Yeah.
So we came up with something that's a little bit different than that. And hopefully people appreciate. We got some good feedback. We got some, feedback that it still kind of looks like BS too. And we're okay. We're okay with that too.
With it.
Yeah, we're okay with kind of breaking that down as we continue to grow this brand. And I think we'll do that. I would definitely. There's lots of other things that BS stands for, Beauty Sports being one of them, but we can think of any other acronym that would go with that. And so by no means do we want people to associate women's sports with what they instantly think of when we say, oh, that's freaking BS.
Yes, yeah, that's right.
But we will continue to break that down as we move through 2023.
Yeah, that's right. And it's funny because like, even with you just saying that there of like women's sports is BS, like our name is Beauties Sports. Like, like if somebody has a symbol that they can think of that is beauty sports oriented, that's focused towards women, I guess, like toss it our way, but like, you know, like so toss it.
Yeah, that is, I guess, a good challenge. And if you're listening to this, we didn't plug it off the top of the show, but you can engage with us on Instagram at Beauty Sports Doc. You can find Addie at Addie Miles Abbott or me at Cowie14 if you want to engage with us individually. But reach out to us there because we're welcome to all of your suggestions on what that could look like. When we were mulling with that question, we talk about women. We talk about women's sports. We talk about all sports. Mm-hmm. So to symbolize that with something is to us very challenging.
Yeah,
we didn't want it to be a symbol of a woman because that it's never representative of how everyone who identifies in that way feels.
That's right.
And so you don't have a ponytail. I would.
Yeah.
You can't have a ponytailed logo.
Yeah, that's
just
right.
Like if we're gonna go that simple.
Yeah, right? No, for sure.
We can't go to a specific sport, and so that's where we landed on the symbol that we had. So if you haven't seen it, go over to our Instagram, check it out, give us your feedback.
Yeah, no, it's so right because we wanted it to be encompassing to everybody too, because the growth of women's sports is not just women; it is everybody.
Yeah, exactly,
right.
Exactly.
So it's got to be something, and BS is our initials. It's what we are, and it's who we are, and I think it's unreal. Yeah. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, and we'll just continue to break that down, and that's part of our job. So I think we're gonna rock with it for a while, and we'll see how it goes, but. That's part of our job is to break down, making sure people don't think of
that's
the
right.
generic old BS when they see that logo.
That's right.
Your Buddy thing just popped into my head about New Year's Eve too. Do you have a go-to karaoke song?
I have a go-to karaoke song.
Do you have one?
Yeah.
What is it?
Toxic by Britney Spears.
Love that.
Come on.
I don't really, but I realized how many songs I knew the words to when everyone else was singing.
Oh, you just got in the groove of it.
Yeah. And then this one lady was like, we should hand you the mic. And I was like, I don't need it. I'm singing very loud.
Yeah.
And I know all the words. I don't even need the TV.
Come on.
To some songs.
To some. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Or one guy pulled out tequila.
Oh my.
All you got to do is say tequila 3 times.
Yeah, that's right.
The whole song.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
So this was like a dance party too. We
just got there late night. That's what we got home at 4.
That's right.
Yeah.
Karaoke machine was
after.
hot.
That was the after party.
Oh, I love it. I love everything about that.
Toxic. Can't wait to bring that outside.
Yeah. Yeah, the amount of times, jumped on the stage and sang a little Britney Spears, a little BS.
Toxic. There it is. Well done.
A little BS there for you.
That somehow couldn't have worked out better.
No.
Yeah.
That's so funny. But even starting off with that feedback, another feedback that we've gotten, which I think is fantastic, because we're talking about all these different drinks and stuff, and we're big beer drinkers, you and I. We can toss a couple back, but we don't dislike non-beer drinking people. And that was one of the things is Beers with Beauties. It seems like you have to like be into beer, which is totally false.
Yeah.
It's just who we are and how we started. So we need to come up with a more inclusive, not a different name, but a way that people know that you can be at the Beauty Sports desk drinking a Mai Tai and we love ya.
Or like you had thrown around, and I think it's a great, so let's throw that out in the universe. Brew. The word brew with Beauties.
Yeah. Brew with Beauties. Beauties brew.
Beauties brew. Because, man, you can do that with coffee. You can have a tea. I don't know. I think they even brew kombucha.
Do they?
Don't they? Ferment. Probably not the same thing.
Yeah.
It feels like brewing.
It feels like it.
And it tastes like it's something happened to
Something's going on there. Something's brewing there.
Yeah. But that is a good point, is that we of course, like, quite honestly right now, Addie's drinking a coffee, I think. Nothing like late night coffee. I'm drinking water. Beers with Beauty episode.
That's right. Let's roll. We got a beer fridge right over there. So if we ever need a little spice added, we can just do that right away. But I think that would be a fun thing to do, is like have somebody on and then they are like, no, I'm into this. And we can like what if somebody's just like into old fashions?
I love old fashions.
Let's do it.
Old fashions is a thing for me.
It's fantastic. I went through a huge Crown Apple phase. Crown Apple on ice. Give me a break.
Nice and sweet.
You know, so I think that there's opportunities there for people not to feel like, oh, well, they got to be into beer. It's like, no. We love all.
You don't even have to be into booze.
You don't even have to be into booze.
You just got to be able to have a good conversation with us.
That's right.
That's what it's about.
That's exactly right. So Beauties Brew, or if you have an idea or a drink you want to come on the show, we're all in. Always.
Yeah.
Always.
We'd have to have people submit their drink ahead of time if they're coming to be at the desk with us.
At the desk. That'll be part of the... We'll just send an email. Yeah, for sure.
Your first name, last name, your favorite number. What's your favorite condiment?
Yeah.
What's your favorite drink?
What are you drinking at the Beauty Sports desk? Yeah, this whole random. It's like, oh my God, what are we doing at the Beauty Sports desk?
Yeah, that'd be funny because our liquor cabinet is very select.
It's
our house doesn't drink a whole huge variety.
I with our new I don't even know what to call it. Like a
wine cart.
It's a wine. It's a stationary wine cart. Put it like.
Is it a cart then?
No, but that's what I meant by stationary. Like it doesn't move.
It's a wine cabinet.
It is, but it's just open. Like it's not meant for wine. We put wine in it. I don't know. That clearly shows how much I was involved with the purchase of it. But I found a whiskey infused with coffee that I had. That's like aging.
Oh, that's right in your wheelhouse.
Yeah, called Cowie. So I might bring that.
All right.
I'm into it. I was like, what is this beautiful thing coming out of the cupboard? And I was like, well, that's been aging for a little while. I'm into it.
Mint Kahlua shooter today, ice fishing.
Mint Kahlua?
Not for me.
How much you drink today?
One shooter. And I didn't enjoy it. And I went straight back to my Gatorade.
Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess you've been ill. You've been under the weather.
Then I went out for New Year's and I was driving. So I had one early morning shooter and then got on the road at 2:30
just
in the afternoon.
A quick little shot, Steve, and we're out of here.
Mint Kahlua. Boo.
Oh, that's funny.
It's like an after eight, but worse and liquidy.
Worse and liquidy.
Yes.
Amazing. Yeah. That's so funny. Well, I still want to try it.
Okay.
I like minty things.
All right.
I'm going to try it.
You should.
Okay. So we've gotten through because we're like, okay, well, we have to get through this BS symbol, the Beers with Beauties. you know, we just want everybody to have a good time and talk, and let's all just shoot the shit.
My one last point here I do want to make of when people give us feedback, if you gave us feedback and you were critical, don't take the fact that we're talking about it now as a negative.
Oh my gosh, no.
Keep it coming. We need to hear people's opinions. We want to know what you're thinking, what it makes you feel, so that we can make sure we address those and mold it.
That's a fantastic point, because like we always go back and forth and talk things like all day long. Like,
oh yeah,
we love it. Yeah. Absolutely love feedback, love conversation. Keep it coming. I'm excited to see what comes of this little Beauties brew thing. I want to see the drinks people want to drink.
It could be a coffee cup and a beer cheersing as the logo. Anyways,
yeah. See. Oh yeah, the symbol. Yeah, totally. But moving on through, if you've been living under a rock, you have not seen the World Juniors, because
the only way you haven't is if you actually do live under a rock. I think
everywhere.
It
is everywhere. It is on TV, constant. And if you have not heard of a guy named Connor Bedard,
you're also under that same big rock.
That rock you need to get out of, because I was watching the World Juniors and being like a huge fan. This is like everybody watches World Juniors during that time.
It's stitched into the holiday culture in this country specifically.
And in Canada, it's absolutely insane. But one conversation that I was having with somebody about Connor Bedard, in the history of World Juniors, have they talked about a more singular player than Connor Bedard? Like, I remember when Sidney Crosby or Jonathan Taves did that unreal shootout. That was in the World Juniors, right?
And Jordan Eberle did the same thing.
Jordan Eberle. I have never seen them talk about one player as much as they have this guy.
I agree.
It has been non-stop talking about number 16.
Yeah, part of it too is like he's still in a full visor. So he's still not 18. He's 17 years old.
17, yeah.
This is his second World Juniors now. I think that plays into it too, is his age. The fact that we kind of lost out on the full World Junior experience, and then it was that half-ass weird one. Like, all of those things play into the amount of publicity.
Yeah,
he is an incredible hockey player. Like, silly good. Today he just broke the all-time scoring record. He is incredibly good, but putting his name out there so much, like you had mentioned earlier, his jersey at the arena in Halifax sold out in 24 minutes.
20?
Because everybody knows about him and everyone wants it.
That's right. Because he broke two records. He broke Lindros's record of most points and Eberle's of most goals. In one goal, he broke two records. Yeah. And he's a phenomenal talent. But I'm like, you can't turn on the TV without hearing about him. People are different things and different.
It's hard for a team sport too.
It's very hard for a team sport. Yeah. And it seems like every time that he is in an interview, he seems very level-headed.
Yeah.
And that's fantastic. He's like, I didn't even know that I was in the running for this stuff. Like, I'm here for the wins.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm here for Team Canada. This is what I'm here for, which is great to see. And who knows if that's true or not? Like, it's hard to think of all the hype that's around him that he
wouldn't know.
Feel a little bit of it. He probably can't walk through Halifax right now. You know what I mean? So it's like, but for him to say it and for him to do all that, like that's pretty amazing. And so one of the conversations that spurred up about this is because this is a huge event.
Yeah.
And like the conversation of should the women's U18 tournament be intermingled with the World Juniors, would it be a positive thing?
Yeah, in my opinion, yeah.
And we were talking before the show started just on, if you're a Canadian,
yep,
when the puck drops in the first game, you essentially turn on TSN and turn off TSN.
You leave it on.
The channel never really changes. Even if, like, I was watching a rando game the other day and it wasn't even Canada, USA, like two teams that I really don't know anything about.
Czechia and Germany.
But it's the World Juniors.
Yeah.
World Juniors is on.
Yeah.
Why are we not intermingling the women's tournament at the same time? Would that not be one of the, and we can toss it out to the court of public opinion on this one. Like, what do we think?
Yeah. Well, so the thing is, to me too, is that the women's, my honest question to people would be, did you know that the U18 Women's World Championship starts in from the time that this hits your ears 5 days? And my guess is a large amount of people will say no. And then my second question to that was, how many of you knew that the World Juniors was happening? And I'm assuming that the answer to that is everybody.
Yeah.
And so to me, when we talk about ways to elevate women's sports and put them on an equal playing field, it's that.
Yeah.
It's giving them they're the same age-ish. Yeah, maybe we need to talk about changing it from U18 Worlds to U21 Worlds or whatever it is. And we're pulling out of colleges and universities because they're off right now anyway.
Yeah.
So great. And we're putting them together and we're giving them the same publicity and we're starting to have that name recognition like a Connor Bedard when these women are coming up through, we're approaching. So a lot of, all of the people who are going to be playing in this U18 Worlds for our country are going to be part of the Canada Games in February.
Yep. Yeah, that's right.
Like the domino effect of elevating these women's names as now they go and are off to, who knows, the U of M, Ohio State, UBC, wherever their careers take them next, and then into whatever becomes of the PWHPA and PHF.
That's right.
It's just, it's hard to think it wouldn't be the right decision.
It seems like such a huge miss, in my opinion, because it would take away that conversation of like, would people actually watch women's sports? Well, it kind of two birds with one stone. Nobody turns off TSN during this time.
Yep.
And people are just going to naturally end up watching it. Like, and then they're going to learn more about it. And like you're saying, player recognition. What happened to Sarah Fillier? During everybody knows Sarah Fillier. And guess what? From that, everybody knows she plays at Princeton. Everybody knows the trickle effect of her career. Yeah. It's like, how are we not? And who was the, he said this about this last year. Gary D. Yeah. Gary D. He was the one that was like, we need to know, because I think he has daughters that are really into golf.
And we need to know who the Connor Bedard is of women's
hockey, right? Yeah. And then, so when this happens, and you're right, when this hits your ears, we'll be starting in 5 days. Mm-hmm. For a sports fan, that seems ridiculous that they're not together. They're separated by 1 week.
I know.
And everybody's watching this. Yeah. And then now women's going to go on TV. Everyone goes back to work and nobody's watching TV because everyone's at the gym because they're New Year. Like, it's like, what are we doing?
I know. And like you said too, when you think about the fact that you're right, most of us who have been at home for the holidays have watched a non-Canada or non-USA game. A Czech, Germany. Slovakia, whatever. Switzerland, and I don't know, whoever they were. Mm-hmm. And now, and the hard part is that these women are going to have their worlds in Sweden too. So that's against them when you compare from a viewership perspective in this country specifically.
Right.
Of what that offers them. It's a good point. It's worth mulling. And I'm so curious to hear people's feedback on it.
Me too, because there is in no way, shape, or form do I feel like it would, quote unquote,
water down this.
Water down this. I think it would be like, finally, hell yeah, this is unreal. And then you're just growing the fan base like crazy.
Yep.
And it's like evolving into this conversation of respecting the genders. Like we've talked about a ton. Like if people see men and women competing on the same playing field,
Yeah.
people watch it more. And it's been proven in tennis, in golf.
Yep.
If you're telling me that if this game going on right now, huge Hockey Canada game, if the women were playing after, that the arena would just empty?
Yeah, no.
It doesn't make sense to me. And it's just such a big opportunity. So that's been a really hot topic in our household because
I wonder if they've talked about it. I want to hear from someone. I want to know, like, have they actually considered doing it?
I would love to know. I would love to know because maybe they have, maybe there is a reason as to why they are held separately. But if we want to get over this, if we want to get over this hump of like the whole gender thing in sports and one being valued more than the other, you have to allow them opportunities to compete on the same stage.
Well,
and if you don't, it'll always be a debate.
Yeah.
Right.
And the interesting part too here is that it's the same governing body where everywhere, like when we look at hockey specifically, everywhere else, it's not. Right. So NHL doesn't have a WNHL. And so this is like there is actually no excuse.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Outside
that's
of generation of revenue.
Yeah.
But then you could argue the fact that if you want to increase revenue potential for the women's game, host it, sandwich it in men's games. If that's your thought, is that men bring in the views,
Yeah.
then put them together.
See what? Yeah, I agree.
I also would love to see the side-by-side comparison.
I would love to see it, and I would also do anything to see interviews with one another. Like I would love to see a Connor Bedard sitting beside a, whichever female player is just lighting it up. You know what I mean? Yep. Male player, female player, side by side, same press conference, being asked the same questions, given the same amount of respect. That is where if we have grandparents, parents, little nuggets watching, like I asked, so this is obviously in our house all the time.
Yep.
I asked my son today, what does he want to be when he is older? And he said a hockey player.
Duh.
He's 4. Oh yeah. A hockey player. Duh. And so he gets that.
Yeah.
He gets to feel that.
Yeah.
And it's like watching a little experiment in my own house because but he's also on the same side where mommy's hockey players, like, cause the team I coach are the real hockey players. So he's like, can I go watch the real hockey players this weekend? And he's talking about my girls.
Yeah.
So he calls my girls real hockey players and he wants to be a hockey player by watching it because he's been exposed to both.
Yeah.
He respects and views them the same.
Yeah.
It's just, it's so crazy to me. And then when I thought about all the conversations that went on around the Olympics and how Marie-Philippe Poulin has just won these 2 massive awards this past year and all these things, it's like, oh my gosh, why would we not tie them all together and just hype it up? Like, let's go. And then the trickle effect. Then when USA Hockey hosts, then they feel pressured to do it with their female team.
Yep.
Then everywhere starts to go, oh, well, that happened. Now we have to do it because that showed, their viewership was the same and inclusivity and all these different things. It just, to me, is an absolute no-brainer.
Yeah. And so here's a question for you. Do you think that the World Juniors would need a new name if it included women?
No, I don't think so.
Like they're obviously World Juniors just because that's like the tier of hockey that they would play. They're all junior hockey players, right? And
I think that goes back to what you were saying is we may have to look at it not being a U18 and maybe a U20, U21. Because if you looked at what is comparable to junior, it is kind of like that high school.
Well, and when you talk about like even in Ontario, like different leagues across Canada call the U18 league that we have in Manitoba junior.
Yeah, that's right.
So this is just a
Clarification
little
on
shout out to
terminology.
Hockey Canada
Yeah.
here, because there's new faces and lots of positive change that's going to come out of all of these new faces and new initiatives, hopefully.
Yeah.
One, maybe we need to actually from a national, governing bodies, groups, get together outside of IIHF and standardize the nomenclature of women's hockey.
That's right. That would be a very fun meeting to be a part of.
Too bad we won't get invited, but
Yeah, too bad we won't be there, but that would be very fun to
would it ever?
talk about, because like the PWHPA and what they're doing in the Dream Gap Tour and still putting their best foot forward. The PHF has had the most viewership they've ever had, like, because people are starting to learn and know more about it. For the people that may be tuning in, PWHPA, Professional Women's Hockey Player Association, and the PHF Premier Hockey Federation are the two women's leagues. PWHPA is a showcase, but
Yeah.
there's options for girls to continue on and play hockey at a very, very high level. And I think, and I've said this from guys, they know their path. Mm-hmm. They know it.
We need girls to know their path.
Girls need to know their path. And we have given a ton of kudos to women's basketball for that.
Yeah.
Women's basketball, women's tennis, women's golf, and soccer, know the progression. You know where you're going when you're starting off in minor, working your way up. It's like, we need to now do that in hockey and stop making it so complicated.
Yeah, agree.
People watch hockey this time of year. Put female hockey on this time of year.
Yeah.
That is it right there. So that is
if
it.
If anyone heard the noise from upstairs in our house, it's because we are watching the Canada versus Slovakia quarterfinal game, and Canada just won, which you'll know by the time this hits your ears.
Yeah.
But Halifax is bumping.
Halifax is absolute. I would want to have a couple beers in Halifax.
I know, right?
Dads jumping, people losing it. Oh, the poor little guys. Poor little guys. They're like 6'4" units. Little nuggets out there. But that is a huge game. Hockey Canada just pulled that one out. That was a massive.
Canada USA up in the semis.
You'll never guess who scored it in OT.
Who? Tell me who.
I've only heard his name a couple times. Connor Bedard. This kid is he's not going to be able to walk in public ever again.
No. Oh man, that much time and space.
Yeah, that's insane. You're literally getting a play-by-play from both Cowie and I during this time. That's ridiculous. It's not even funny. It's silly. He's silly
good.
So that's a little on air.
You know who else is silly good and got some recognition this year that you briefly mentioned is MPP, Marie-Philippe Poulin.
She is just silly.
Silly good.
And so the awards that she won are just like, not only did she win them both this year, they're both at like the top. Mm-hmm. Like they're the two top awards you can get.
Yeah.
And she won them in the same year. She won the Northern Star Award and the Canadian Press Female Athlete of the Year.
Yeah. So the Northern Star Award is the best athlete in this country. Mm-hmm. Period. Male or female.
Period.
The Canadian Press one, obviously in the name, said it as the female athlete of the year, best female athlete in this country. Katie Ledecky won the Associated Press AP Female Athlete of the Year in the U.S. If you don't know who Katie Ledecky is, I'm not sure what rock you've been under.
I was just going to say under that same old Connor Bedard rock.
That same darn rock. Just get out from under there.
You get out.
Yeah, McDonald's has free Wi-Fi.
Hit up Dawn's, go research for a little bit. Let's all get on the same page. Did you see the post of Katie Ledecky and all of her records?
Yeah. The top 25 times. Katie Ledecky. Katie Ledecky. Yeah. She like blew out the votes by a landslide too in that AP Press.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is like a phenom in the pool. But yeah, to all like these women, it's so nice. I love the annual. That's one thing about the end of the year. That annual recognition of those top athletes is fun to see.
Oh, it's huge. And really, there is nobody more deserving than her. But if you're like Poulin and you're just like sitting there thinking about your life, like you are the flag bearer.
Yeah.
You
Score every golden goal.
Score every goal that the country erupts.
Yeah.
You win these 2 awards, like,
and you're just a slice of humble pie, man.
I was literally just gonna say, and just a good old piece of humble pie, just your standard, unbelievable Canadian athlete.
Team. Like, there's a reason she's not an individual athlete.
Yeah.
There's a reason she's in a team sport.
Yeah.
It is not about her.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
you know, and even just thinking of the women, a part of the national team, like Halifax, like a home rink probably of Jill Saulnier.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, she dropped the opening puck.
Right? So it's like, what a cool opportunity they could have taken there and really embrace that whole thing. Because as much as I've literally watched every World Junior game, at like top to bottom, I do feel like the girls get missed every single year. Like, I just feel like there's so much unbelievable content and information and things that happen. And they have such an easy platform, especially with hockey, to just loop it in with this.
I agree.
You know,
yeah,
it's just.
I do want to touch on. We did this last year, this time of year, on those like the highest paid athletes. Mm-hmm. So this is also interesting to me, which we talked about last year. Naomi Osaka still stands at number 1 as the top female.
Money in the bank.
Yeah, money earner. Total earnings 51.1 million. On field 1.1. Off field 50. Serena Williams second, 41.3. 41 off, 0.3 on. Eileen Gu 20.1 million total earnings. 20 million off, 0.1 on. All the way, I'll just flip down to here. Simone Biles, number 8. Total earnings 10. On field 0. Off field 10. So we're starting there's still a miss. There's still a miss here when it comes to how women earn their money. The interesting thing, if you guys want to follow an account that does a great job of highlighting women's sports, follow shotclock_media. This is where I'm finding this stuff, and it's sourced from Forbes. 2 women cracked the top 50 highest paid athletes list, male or female. 2. The top 25 highest paid women brought in a combined $194 million, which is a 17% increase from 2021.
Wow.
8 women earned more than $10 million, which is twice the amount that earned more than $10 million in 2021. So there's positives in here.
Yes.
Those are the quick facts that they represented in here. But for our top earners, so you think of like a LeBron James. Yeah, I'm sure I don't know what he, let's say he earns $200 million a year. I have no idea.
Right.
He earns 50 on the court.
Oh, yeah.
All of these women earn like peanuts doing the thing that they are actually super freaking talented at.
Yeah.
Beyond just that name, likeness, whatever.
Yeah. Their own personal.
So strange.
Their personal brands.
Yeah.
Are what? Because the one, I would say, like, even if you look, like you said, LeBron James, but the guy that always comes to mind for me is Shaq.
Yeah.
Like, Shaq had, like, you know, obviously in the millions for a salary, but this guy owns like 20 companies, but just based off of what he made or whatever, like like he makes all his money away from the court.
Yep.
You know, like when he played a long time ago, obviously, but he is the one guy that keeps popping up for me that I'm like, you did not make all your money playing basketball.
No, almost none of it.
Yeah, that's right. So it's very interesting. It is cool to see
the growth, though.
The growth, and not only just like,
I like the context that they put it in. So like I said, Shot Clock _media. I'm not stealing the light from them. They do a great job.
yeah, they do.
But it's even like that's where I like the Katie Ledecky thing. Her votes, yeah, she was like by a landslide.
Yeah. And how could you argue it? Right? Like
Asia Wilson was on there, Aaliyah Boston, Iga.
Oh yeah, Iga.
Eileen Gu, Aaron Jackson, Sam Kerr, Ons, Jabber. There was a few. But yeah, anyways, they do a great job. So if you want to look at finding or informing yourself, do that. Otherwise, come back here every week and we'll tell you about it.
That's right. And like that would be really cool to look into somebody like Sam Kerr. Really high level football player.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
I wonder what the difference would be there, because she's making good money playing soccer, but
Yeah.
she's got a personal brand like
Yeah, big time.
crazy right now.
Big time. You want to know what 35-year-old Alicia got for Christmas this year?
Yeah, I want to know.
Sarah Nurse on a video game.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah.
NHL 23.
Yeah. I like honestly contemplated not even unwrapping it. I was like, I don't know.
Keeping
I just,
it in the
wanna
package.
keep this.
Very cool.
And then I thought, I don't give a shit what this is actually worth. It's just worth something to me. So it's out of the package. And
That's right. With Zegras.
yeah.
Very cool.
You know what's really hard to find? FIFA with Sam Kerr on it.
Oh, that's what made you think of that.
Yes.
Because that shit was everywhere.
I know,
FIFA
where
with Sam
is
Kerr.
it?
Where did that go?
I couldn't find it.
Hopefully the answer is sold out
Hopefully. In 24 minutes.
in 24 minutes.
Because everyone knows who Sam Kerr is.
That's right. Sam Kerr is the biggest soccer player.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, no,
Fun.
for sure. For sure.
Fun.
I'm so excited for this year, man.
Me too. Yeah. It seems.
I'm so jacked.
You know what's funny? Because like our original logo says established 2021. Really, we got established in 2022.
Yeah.
We didn't have a hot dang clue
What was going on?
in 2021. And we're both so excited for what's to come. You know, we're like we said. So look forward to some new merch that's going to come out very shortly here in the next, let's call it 8 weeks.
Yeah.
We just need to get our ducks in a row as we dust off the holiday dust.
Old Dusteroo.
But yeah, we're excited for what's to come. We feel like we've got our feet underneath us at this point now, and we appreciate all of you who continue to come back and continue to give us the feedback that allows us to grow and evolve. So it's been fun.
Yeah, no, it's been great. And when we were texting Happy New Year and stuff, like, genuinely believe that 2023 is going to be a knockout year.
Yeah.
I genuinely believe it's going to be so fun. We've got so much cool stuff going on, and being able to talk to other people that have podcasts and stuff too, because one of the things that we've always talked about is it's hard for us to talk about ourselves, and that one you did it yourself was fantastic. And I don't know if I could ever do it myself, but the one thing they said was, don't be afraid to ask for people to rate and review.
Yeah.
Because I think people understand that it's important, but I don't think they realize it's maybe the most important thing.
Yeah. Rate, review, and share it.
Share. Please share the show. If there's anything that, we can ask of you, it's share the show. Please.
It's the best way for people to find us. Not everyone knows us. A lot of you guys listening, guys, gals, humans. I want to get rid of saying guys, but a lot of you people listening know us personally, or at this point feel like you know us personally, I'm sure. But that is the gift that you can give us for 2023 is a rate, 5 stars only, a nice review, and to share it with a friend.
Yeah. Because we got some fun stuff coming up. And
You bet.
today was fun. I was happy to, be able to sit and watch the World Juniors and talk about that, because I think it's a really important topic, and I'm excited to see the comments on it. So,
Same.
Cowie, final words.
Welcome to Beauties in 2023. Thank you for joining us. If this is your first episode, thanks for being here. You can find us on social media, on Instagram at Beauties Sports Talk. You can find Addie at Addie Miles Abbott. You can find me at Cowie14. if this is your 58th episode, we appreciate you so much, my friend. Thanks again for joining us. Ads number 1. I hope that we get to another 58 in 2023.
Let's go, baby. Thank you all, and we will see you next week.